Hi there and welcome to this Dreams Dashboard tutorial. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for buying the product and becoming part of our community of strivers. Hopefully you've joined our Facebook group because we share great content virtually daily, as well as doing Facebook Lives. We give news about software updates and other great deals, and it's just a great community for sharing resources and really raising your standards. So make sure you've joined that. We've sent you emails about it and there'll be a link somewhere on this page. But let's dive right in so you can start using the Dreams Dashboard and really get the most out of it and get focused, prioritized, and motivated towards achieving your dream life. So we're starting here on the dashboard. Now, when you open up your Excel file, it may ask you to enable macros. Now, all a macro is, it's a little bit of code. I'll actually show you it, so if you want to review it here, you can, so you know there's nothing malicious. We've got two macros. We've got one that copies the numbers. Oh, I accidentally triggered it. No problem. But you can see there that that's all it does, is when I click this button, it's adding some numbers to this chart, and the other one just deletes the numbers to this chart. So that's all it means by macros, these two things right here, okay? So just enable those and then you'll be able to use the full sheet exactly how you're supposed to. So this is the designer overview. So the first thing you probably notice is you've got these two wheels right here. One is your goals, one is your wheel of life, scoring out of 10, and in the center here you've got your habits. Now what you want to do is you want to start by personalizing it to your particular category. So you may not want to call it business life or money and finance. You could call it whatever you want. So you could change the category completely, or if you just want to make the name more interesting to you, it could be world-class freedom, financial freedom, or something like that. And it will change it in these wheels. So you can see it changes it there and it changes it over here. Now you've got a few things you can start with. So you've got three main options. You've got your wheel of life, you've got your habits, or you've got your goals. Now, one thing you may want to do before you do those goals, habits, and wheel of life is you may want to jump over to your bonus life assessment and actually complete this for each of the areas. So you'll see you can go through and there's questions in each one, and here you'll be able to answer with a number out of 10. So you're going to answer rate on the following scale, 1 to 10, 1 being least true and 10 being most true. So if you have a completely detailed budget and unfailingly stick to it, and that's absolutely true, then you'd add a 10, and you can see the scores being added up here. So if you go through all these questions, that's going to give you a certain number here, and you may then be able to either decide, if that's accurate, and you could come over here to your dashboard and reflect the numbers here out of 10, or you could decide to update it. So you may come in here and say, actually, I scored a 75 on the money and finance, but I don't think I'm at 7.5. I think I'm at 9.5. I'm really pleased with that. So that would be a bit higher. And then the career and mission, I think, is a bit lower. I think is at a 7. So you can come in here, and once you've got the score, how you believe it to be correct, you're going to just click submit score to log, and it's actually going to add the numbers with today's date that you submitted it to this log right here. So you can see it's copied them all in, and it's got some red formatting here. Now the only reason these are all red is because if you do this on a weekly basis, which is what we recommend, so if we take this back a little bit, take it back a week, and then come back over here and we change the numbers a bit. So this one's gone up, this one's gone down, this one's gone up, and then we submit again. You can see it copies today's date, and now it's showing which areas you've gone up in, which is the green, which areas you've gone down in, which is the red, and then the white has just stayed the same. And you can see whether your total score's gone up or not, and you get to see that visually here, and you're starting to see the trends in this section. So that's how you use the wheel of life bit, and there's enough space for you to add 52 weeks, an entire year's worth of data. And even if you get to the end, you can save this file, delete the logs, and start all over again, which is something you can do to keep using it. So that's the wheel of life section. So once that's done, you may want to come in here and set goals for each of the categories. So there's space to put 3 goals for each one, and you just come in and add the goal. Then as you're making progress towards it in the future, you can add the percentage complete. Then you can add the actions, deadlines, and then this is simply for you to be able to reorganize it to keep it in order with the categories. So if you later decide to filter by the goals complete here, you can see it's out of order of the categories now, but these numbers will always keep it, as long as it's ascending, in order. Now you may have seen that this changed as we changed the filter, because what this area does is it's actually a visual representation of the progress you're making on your goals. So the inner circle, each category relates to the 3 goals. The inner circle is the first goal, so it would be this one, the launch the new dashboard here. This one here relates to this little section. So if I change that from 80 to 10, you can see this section will go down. Then the second one in this section relates to the second one here, so it can be 70. So it's important how you prioritize these. So if I put that back a second, you can see as well, you can focus on either all of them at once to get an overview of your progress overall, and it's saying you're 65% completed here, or you can look at just your first goals, your primary goals in each category, which is showing 78% complete, your secondary goals 63%, or your third goals 65%, and that just depends on the order that you put them in here. So this is a really fast way to get an overview of how you're doing with your goals overall, and this gap is what creates the momentum for you to make progress and where to focus on your goals. So you can see here, there's a lot of color here. You're doing great. I'm doing great in those categories, but look, big problem in this one and over here. So you can start to see where you need to focus, and that may match up to where the gaps are on this one. But this is more your subjective view of things are, and this is where you've actually set some tasks and details. Now, if you want to go into more detail for each and say how you're doing across each category, you can use this section. So currently you're on the bottom, spirituality, but if I want to click through, I can click through all my different categories and see how I'm doing in each. So I can see overall in the environment, I'm 67% complete. And the first one, again, the inner one is your first goal, the middle one is your second goal, and the outer one is your third goal. So you can see here with environment, the third one is 0, like we said, and then the first 2 are 100. But if we go up to the next one, fun and recreation, we should see a 40, a 70, and a 90. So if we go up one, there we go, we can see a 40, a 70, and a 90 just moving up like that. Now, that's all the goal section. Then up here, you can put in your top 5 habits. So the difference between a goal and a habit, a goal really is an ultimate outcome, and a habit is something you're doing and just a way of being. And so the reason we had this where it's just happening on a weekly basis and you're keeping track is because a habit needs to be a constantly done thing. So people like to keep logs sometimes of habits, but really it matters what you've done this week and how well you're sticking to that habit in this moment, not how you did it 30 days ago. So this is why you can come in here and you can select whether you accomplished it, whether you didn't accomplish it, or really if it just is a case of you didn't really need to do it that day. Now, if you select the didn't really need to do it that day, it counts as a tick in terms of these. So the only time it counts against you is when you put that. So if you only want to meditate 3 times a week, then you might put the ticks on 3 days. And if you just didn't need to do it on the other days, then that's how you use this. Now, the other thing is you don't have to use all 5. If you get rid of this one, then it still will recalculate all the figures based on the fact that you've only got 4. So don't worry about that. So you can see this now realizes you've only got 4. And so you've got 2 negatives on a Monday, and then these 2 are working fine. So you get 50%. If you were to put in meditation, now it recognizes you have 5 things and it needs to see a log. So if you logged a positive, it would go up. But if you logged a negative, it would realize that you'd only done 40% of that. So that's how that bit works. Then the final section is you've got a place to set in daily logs and journals so that you can actually reflect and see how you're doing. And then the reason this again is to be updated constantly is because you want to enter it, and then at the end of the week, perhaps do a weekly review, take the learnings, and then move forward to next week. So there's no point just having logs from, say, 6 months ago. It's about how you're evolving as a person. So that is the dashboard section. When you click this submit button, you know it's adding it to the progress chart. You know how to do the life assessment now. And then the final thing is you've got this dreams board section where you can just put in whatever you want. And this is where you just get fun pictures or quotes. This is like your electronic vision board, if you will. Now you can still stick things on the wall, but this is just so you have it here. So sometimes if you're, I'm browsing on Facebook and I see a quote I like, I'll put this in, or a dream house or something, I'll throw it in here. So you've got it all in one place. You don't just have a file of random images or that are loaded on your desktop anywhere. And that is the Dreams dashboard tutorial for you. So the final thing for me to say is just thank you so much for becoming a Striver and using the Dreams dashboard. And also, if you want to check out our even more advanced product called the Dreams Designer, which is a full life design system which creates one-page plans for each of these areas and takes what you've done here in the dashboard to a whole new level to get focus and prioritization and organized. Really, if you do that, you can be set for an entire year. The level of progress you're going to make is incredible. But we didn't want to bombard you with it if you don't want to look at that yet. We've put a video nearby somewhere on this page or somewhere else, so you can check that out if you want to see all the huge benefits you can get from it. But just get started with the dashboard, start making an impact and start getting that motivation. And then if you fancy using the Dreams Designer and really stepping up to that next level, then we'd love to see you there. And we'd love to hear from you in the Facebook group as well, to hear about the progress you're making as you're striving towards accomplishing your dreams.